ladies and gentlemen, here we go. FIA Intercontinental Drifting Cup, Leg 2, Solo Run. Welcome Group A!さあ選手が、ドライバーたちが出揃いましたけどもね、
今タイヤ鳴らしをねまた
そうですね、やっぱりこの先ほど練習走行を行いまして、でこの後3走本番に向けて、1周だけウォーミングアップが入ります、でもちろん練習走行の時よりも気温も上がってますので、路面温度も上がってます、でこの1周の中で、タイヤの温まり方、タイヤのグリップっていうのを確かめて、もう一度スタートラインの前にメカニックと話をしまして、エア調整を最後に行いまして、3走に挑むと、もうドライバー的にはね、この1周がもういろんなところのインフォメーションを感じて、タイヤだったりサスペンションだったり、あとエンジンのフィーリングだったり、もうここがね、もう選手とすれば一番ドキドキの場所ですよね。
今日どのように攻めるか、ね、シミュレーションしていきながら。
そうですね。
イメージトレーニング中なんですね、今ね。
そうですね、もう走り方に関しては、もうすでに出来上がってますから、あとはそれに合わせ込むための、車とタイヤと、エンジンの具合を今確かめている状態ですよね。今また出てきてすぐ戻ったんですが、これはまたスタート直前にもう一度、タイヤを温める、ショートレイアウトがあるので、今そこを使って、1番走者のドライバーが、タイヤを温めました。もう間もなくスタートだと思います。
Number 15 from Korea, Kim Jong-wook.
All right, here we go. Let's start the qualifying for leg 2 of the IDC, starting with Kim Jong-wook from Korea. So remember, what we're looking for here is keeping the car on the course, big angle, big speed, good average speed throughout the entire track, and big throws into corners like this. Here we go. All right, so it's not a bad run so far for Kim Jong-wook, but a big wheel drop at the start of the course is going to give him a penalty for sure. So watching the replay here from Kim Jong-wook, you see there a -2 penalty being applied for that wheel drop at the beginning of the course. So as you can see there, all of the different sectors of the course, sector 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Sectors are out of 30 points, 25, and then 15, 15, 15 for the different sectors. So basically sector 1 is the first corner. You see them come into view and then flick back. That is sector 1. What the scoring system is looking for there is a sharp angle, meaning when they throw the car into the corner, they're throwing it in very aggressively, and a big hard flick. So that's what makes drifting look cool. And then of course the average speed and top speed.
3, 2, 1.
Right, here comes the next driver, Shahab Pashaniadar from Iran. He's in a borrowed car here today. All right, so the first time that Shahab has actually made it through He didn't make it through to qualifying yesterday due to car trouble. You see their first corner into sector 2. Now for sector 2, we want to see big angle and a nice stable angle. You can see here Shahab holding that angle nice and cleanly around the course. That's going to get him good points in sector 2. However, he come into sector 3. Okay, so a score there 97.41 for Shahab on his first run. Entry speed of 84 kilometers an hour. Not too bad. Currently sitting in first place in qualifying, but there's only been 2 cars out there so far. So he will get one more run to try and better that score. Yesterday that would have been a score good enough to get through to qualifying. But I think everyone is going to be working extra hard today. Shahab is going to have to do even better in his second qualifying run. Ready comes the next driver. Will be Sébastien Messili from France, driving his Hyundai Genesis Coupe.
Number 5 from France, Sébastien Messili.
3, 2, 1, go!
Here comes Sébastien Messili for his first qualifying run. A very shallow angle there for Messili. And we saw there Messili stalling up in sector 4. So watch this. Here comes the entry, sector 2 right there. They need to throw in with big angle, good speed, and hold their angle and speed all the way through here. You can see here, very shallow angle for Messili compared to other drivers we saw yesterday. Throwing it in, that's a good angle there. That nice flick in there, just barely hitting the inside curve. Watch this. Slightly getting a wheel off, but I see there sector 3 as 0 for where he stalled up. So that's a score there, 74.71. Entry speed 79, so not a great first run for Sébastien. Considering that sector 3 is 0, because he did straighten up and stop drifting, which made his score 0. Here's our next driver representing Italy, Guidetti Riccardo in the BMW M3.
3, 2, 1, go!
Here comes Guidetti's first qualifying run. Sector 1. There into sector 2. Not looking too bad. Good entry speed for Guidetti. Running a bit wide there, going to drop a wheel off the edge of the track. So let's watch the replay here for Riccardo. Not a bad entry there. Once again, not great angle, but good speed, holding that angle all the way around. Could do with a bit more angle here. Now watch the flick into sector 3. This is what's going to score him well here. There you go. But watch this. Running a bit wide there. He's going to drop a wheel off the edge of the track. That is very heavily penalised. And there you go, a -2 for Guidetti, giving him a score of 92.97. Currently sitting in second place after 4 cars. So it's a bit of an unexpectedly long warm up there for the next from the Genesis. Their warm up usually should only consist of a quick U-turn before the start line.
14 from Korea, Kim In-sun.
So next run now, Kim In-sung taking that very long warm up there. Hopefully he's not going to be penalised for that. It should be okay. All right, here comes Kim In-sung's second run. First run, sorry. All right, so let's look at the replay for Kim In-sung's first qualifying run here. Nice throw in there. That's a good entry into sector 2. He holds the angle all the way around. But so the second half of the course seemed to struggle a little bit with his speed. In sector 4 and 5 over towards the end of the track, average speed is one of the more important things, as it indeed is in sector 1 and 2. So from here onwards, it seemed like his speed was quite low. And you can see there, yeah, the score slowly dropping off towards the end. 14.4, 14.2, 13. So In-sung, second half of the course, very slow, slowly losing points there, bleeding points out in the Tiger Blood sponsored car. 93.05 for In-sung.
From Malaysia, Muhammad Zaiham Hamdan.
3, 2, 1, go!
All right, next driver now, Muhammad Zaiham Hamdan. First qualifying run. Let's watch the replay here for Muhammad's run. Very aggressive flick on the entry there. That's what we want to see. Maybe a little bit slower than some of the other competitors here. Muhammad taking a bit of an inside line there. That's okay. He can, as long as he keeps his tyres off the edge of the track, he should be all right. Setting himself up here. A little bit shallow on the entry, but watch the flick here into sector 3. Right there. Nice rotation on the car. But they're not a great score. Look at that entry speed there. Wow, 64 kilometers an hour entry. To put that in perspective, our highest speed yesterday, I believe, was about a 94. or thereabouts. It was well over 90 kilometers an hour. Zayham getting only a 24 on sector 1. That entry speed really making him suffer there. The rest of the course, not too bad, especially towards the end of the course, but Zayham really needs to pick it up on his second run. Here comes the first run for Manuel Vacca from Italy. A good speed on his entry. All right, Vacca looking much better than he did yesterday. This is a great run from him. Very aggressive, very crowd-pleasing run. Good average speed for the entire course. And a score there, 95.49. So yeah, great first run for Manuel Vacca. Big improvement over his first try yesterday. Seems to be in a bit of a groove now. Hopefully he can improve on that for his second run. Vacca doing very well today so far. So if you're just joining us now on Facebook, I'd like to say welcome to Japan for the first ever FIA IDC Intercontinental Drifting Cup.
Ready, go!
We are currently in qualifying. Here comes second run for Kim Dong-wook. This is Kim Dong-wook's second qualifying run. He didn't do very well. He got a big penalty in his first qualifying run, managing to keep the car on the track this time, and he's going to spin it. A spin in sector 4 for Kim Dong-wook. That's really unfortunate for Dong-wook. It was looking like it was going to be an improvement on his first qualifying run, but unfortunately that big spin there in sector 4. So watch this. His first run on sector 2 here, this big long sweeping left corner. Quite shallow on the angle. This time a lot better. Throwing it into here, sector 3, bottom of the course. Keeping it on the track, but a spin in sector 5. You can see there 0 for that spin right at the end of the track. Spinning out right after the sector 5 marker, 78. It is not looking good for Kim Dong-wook. He's probably not going to qualify for today's competition. Because of course we have 24 cars here for the competition. Only 16 will be making it through to the top 16 battles later on today.
Ready, go!
All right, here comes the second run now for Shahab Hishaniadar from Iran. And that was a half spin there for Shahab. Right at the beginning of sector 4. This could potentially be a 0 in sector 4. Let's have a look at the replay. So first half of the run. Very good first half of the run. Good speed on the entry there. Watch him flick it out here and hold this angle all the way around sector 2. Not bad, but in sector 4, throwing it a bit too hard. The car's half spinning out. That could potentially be a 0 for sector 4. Watch this, so good up until here. But we all saw it, that half spin. And there it is, 0 in sector 4, that spin there. Shahab, an 81.92 for his second qualifying run. It's not impossible for Shahab to make it through to the top 16, but it's not looking very good right now. So we are still in our first qualifying group right now.
Ready, go!
We are on to the second run for Group A. So this is the second run now for Sébastien Messili from France. And dropping a wheel off there and stalling out. This is going to be another zero sector for Sébastien Messili. So once again, first half of the course, not too bad for Sébastien, but that sector 3, dropping a wheel off, that's going to be a minus 2 point penalty, and also spinning out and stalling the car. Could potentially be a double zero for sector 3 and 4. And there it is, a double zero, sector 3 0, sector 4 0 for Sébastien. That's a 64.59. Essentially a meaningless score for him. Only good to make it through to absolutely nothing at all. Not good enough to make it through to the top 16, unfortunately, for Sébastien.
Ready, go!
All right, second run now for Italian Guidetti Riccardo in his BMW. And a wheel drop there for Riccardo, also straightening into sector 4. Could be a similar result to what we just saw. Look at the replay here. Look at this aggressive run. But maybe a similar result to what we saw with Messili. Riccardo, look how aggressive he's here. A lot of speed, but watch this. Getting on the brakes quite late. Not enough angle to slow the car down. Washing it out wide. Watch the right rear tire right here. Off the edge of the track. And now watch the front tires as the car straightens up and drives straight. -2 there for Guidetti. Surprisingly, no zeros through sector 3 and sector 4. That's very lucky for him, but 89.5, that's definitely not good enough to get through to the top 16.
Ready, go!
All right, next run now, Kim In-sung representing Korea. So replay here from Kim In-sung. There may be a penalty applied because he dropped the wheel off on that sector 3 hairpin. Once again, improvement over his first run for sure. Oh, very lucky for him. It was obviously the turn of the tide, did not go all the way over the line. 94.09 for In Sung. So overall good run, 94.09. Entry speed still a little bit under 80 kilometers an hour. We'd like to see him in the mid 80s if possible. If you can get an entry speed over about, say, 85 kilometers an hour, it should give you a fairly good score for the entry.
Ready, go!
The second run now for Muhammad Zaiham Hamdan, representing Malaysia in his Alteza. Second run. Once again, kissing the wall there, Muhammad. He had a bit of a crash yesterday in qualifying where he ripped his wing off on the wall. Looks like he may have just kissed the wall right before Sector 3, hairpin again, right at the end of Sector 2. So this is the beginning of Sector 2 here. Nice throw in early on the accelerator. You can see him already on the accelerator very early. Hard acceleration, the back of the car squatting down under grip as he sets himself up for the Sector 3 hairpin. Now watch this. He's about middle track here, starts to run wide to set himself up, throws on the angle, and we just missed the little touch on the wall there. 94.00, so decent second run for Zaiham. 82 kilometer hour entry speed. Good average scores across the board. Nice consistent run for Zaiham.
Ready, go!
Here comes our last driver in this group's qualifying, his second run. From Italy, Manuel Vacca. Before the scores even come up, I'm going to say that was a great run there for Vacca. Great speed for the entire course. Good average speed. Of course, average speed important on almost every single sector on the track. And a 96.55. Good score there for Manuel Vacca. He's going to be happy with that. Over 80 kilometers an hour on the entry. Sector 1, 28.73. Great score for Vacca. So that is the last driver in our first Group A drivers. All the drivers are split up into different groups for qualifying in order to give them a little bit of a gap between their qualifying, but not so much that it's too long a time. Just there's a bit of a space between the runs to let their cars cool down and get ready for their second run. So we're bringing out our Group B drivers. They are coming up to the start line and should be starting very shortly. All right, so those are our Group A drivers. Everybody watching at home, what do you think of that? There was some great performances in there. So can you see the sort of thing that the judging system is looking for? Obviously, cars dropping wheels off the edge of the track, that gives you a penalty. And drivers which slow down and spin out, that can be a 0 for whatever sector of the course they're in. If they slow down and spin out, that's going to be a 0. But of course, the following sector is still judged, so there still is a chance to get at least some points from a spin. And of course, big angle, throwing it in with lots of speed and holding that angle. We see the guys driving around the course nice and smoothly with big angle and then throwing it in heavily right at the end. That is what's going to get them the big points. All right, so let's have a look at the course here. Let's go back to the main camera right now and have a look at the actual judging criteria for the course. So let's cut back to that. As you can see here, this is the course. The different sections of the track. Sector 1, that entry right there, that is 30%. Followed by 20. Right, it just got really loud here all of a sudden. The big naturally aspirated V8 LS7 base car of Odi Bashi's causing a ruckus here at Odaiba. So we have our two American drivers in this next one, Essa and Bakshis. Also our Thai drivers and our Brazilian driver. So they're heading back to the start line now after a quick run of the track. Just a quick mechanical check. All right, here we go. Group B, our first driver, Matt Field from the USA. Right, decent first run there for Matt Field. Good speed, however, kind of stalling up in the hairpin on Sector 3, running really wide. Doing his best to keep his average speed up for the entire course. Nice aggressive entry there, look at that, heavy on the accelerator. Decent angle through here, building on the angle. He really wanted to get more angle at the beginning of that sector. Well, look here, throwing it in, using the sideways action of the car to slow it down. 96.78. With a great entry speed, 87 kilometers an hour. Good run there for Matt Field. A little bit weak there, yeah, in Sector 3, just that hairpin where he slowed down. He's almost spun out, using the power of the car to drive out. That's what lost him maybe a point right there. He could have got maybe a 97 or higher. Matt Field, well, nevertheless, Matt Field, great run. Great first run for Matt Field. All right, second run now. Otopon Prakopkong, his first qualifying run. Great entry speed there on the first corner. All right, not a bad run there for Prakopkong. Look at this entry here. Throws it in. Look how early he's on the accelerator. Backs off for a quick second there, but straight back into it. Keeping his average speed up nice and high. But once again, like we saw there before with some of the other drivers, that sector 3 just kind of wobbling in there, not using a lot of angle to slow down. Right about here, look at this. Hits the brakes. The car kind of washes out slightly, loses a lot of speed, a lot of angle there. Quite shallow through sector 3. I think the sector 3 score is going to be quite low. Flick back here into sector 5. Nice angle there coming out of sector 5. But sector 3 could potentially not be a very good score. Let's have a look at the results for Prakopkong. And over the finish line there. So Prakopkong, otherwise known as M. Let's call him that from now on. It might be a bit easier. His results should be coming in very shortly. Yeah, look at that. Look for that sector 3 score. He actually did get a -2 penalty for putting a wheel off the edge of the track. So not too sure where he got that penalty applied, but it looks like he did actually drop a wheel off the edge of the track, resulting in a 94. Our next driver now from Brazil is João Barrion in the JZX100 Mark II. Well, a little bit of a mistake there. Just the beginning of sector 5 there for João. Finishes it off in style though. Let's watch the replay here. João throwing it in nice and deep. Good entry speed, holds it quite late. Maybe needed to get on the accelerator a little bit earlier there to try and drive out of that corner, build up his speed a bit faster. He's got his speed up about here, but watch this. So a 96.73, not a bad run, good. Great entry speed there, 85.7 kilometers an hour. That's exactly what we want to see from these guys, if not higher. Because of course, when it comes to the tandem battles, if you go into that first corner with anything less than about this amount of speed, you're going to be stuck to for the entire run by the chase car. So a 96.73 for João on his first qualifying run. Our next driver from Chinese Taipei, Feng Jianxi in his S15 Silvia. Want a big understeer, dropping a wheel off the edge of the track. So replay here from Feng's S15 Sylvia. It's looking good, but we're seeing the same mistakes made in the same area. Sector 3, the approach to Sector 3 seems to be the critical part for a lot of these guys in qualifying. Watch right here. Throws it in, washes out wide, and watch the front wheels. Steers into the corner a bit, and the rear wheel dropping off the edge of the track right there. That's going to be a penalty for Feng. All right, next driver now in his first qualifying run from the USA, Michael Esser in his BMW. This is his first qualifying run. Wow, it looks like Michael Esser was paying attention in the drivers' meeting today. Look at that angle, throwing it in there, Sector 2. Out towards the wall, holding that angle all the way around. This is going to be a great Sector 1, Sector 2 score for Michael Esser. 98.27 with an entry speed of 92.1 kilometers an hour. Perfect score, Sector 1, over 30 points. Maxing out the requirements, that throw in there. Wow, Michael Esser setting himself up perfectly. That was only his first qualifying run too.
All right, you're currently the point leader. How do you feel?
Feeling good. We learned a lot yesterday. This is the first time using the DOS judging system for us. So we're just trying to absorb as much as possible and put it to use on track.
All right, good job, man.
Our next driver in B Group, Orimas Bakshis from the USA or Lithuania, depending on which flag you want to go by. This is his first qualifying run. Look at the angle. Watch the throw in here to Sector 3. We're a bit wide there. Oh, only a wheel off the edge of the track. Well, a bit of a mistake there, unfortunately, for Odi Bakshis in Sector 3. The same part of the track where we've seen everyone else make the same sort of mistake. Looking good through here. Look at the angle there. Nice angle. Holds it all around. Look how smooth he's looking here. Backs off for a second, sets the car up, throws it in. But watch this. Watch the left side of the car right now. That right rear wheel. Right there. And there you go. Unfortunately, yeah, a -2 penalty there. Would have been a good score otherwise. Look at that, 28, 24, 14, 14, 14, and high 14s at the end too. Overall, good run for Odi, but unfortunately, only a 95 for that run. first row now. Dechapon Toing Chaoen, otherwise known as Pon, in his Z33. First qualifying run, is doing pretty well so far. Got to throw it in here. So fairly late entry there for Pon. You can see that the car doesn't really get to full angle until fairly late into Sector 2. I mean, we saw that before, Michael Esser throwing it in very early and holding that angle. That is what gave him such a good score. So it's not good enough just to slowly drift around the track, winding on angle as you go. The EDS system wants to see you get on angle as soon as possible. So the first couple of parts of the track should probably not be a great score for Pon. But still a score there, 97.83. I think there's that entry speed that really did it for him there, 87.5. That's quite high. So, but still, definitely room for improvement for Pon.
3, 2, 1, go!
All right, here comes Kopiam, otherwise known as S. So once again, look at that big throw early into Sector 2 and holding that angle. That is what gets you a good score right there. Good average speed throughout the entire Sector 2, the long sweeping left-hand corner. Setting himself up for the Sector 3 hairpin. Slams on the brakes so the car shifts around. And a 97.51 with a great entry speed. So similar run to what we just saw there before. And that Sector 1 score, 29.59 out of 30. It was that early throw, that big angle throw. With lots of speed, that's what gets you the good score.
Ready, go!
All right, we are into our second runs in Group B. This is Matt Field from the USA, second run. That's just a replay here for Matt Field's run. Once again, look at this early throw in. That's what you want to see. He had a great first score considering the very limited amount of track time he's had in this fair lady here this weekend after a big crash on the first day. Bad results yesterday. But this could potentially be a very good day for Matt Field. And a 98.17. Look at that, Sector 1, over 30 points on the entry. 93.5 kilometers an hour. Wow, that's a really high speed there for Matt Field. So if it's not already obvious, we really want to see speed here, despite the fact it is quite a small track. Yeah, and also Sector 5 there, see that 15.04. That was from that really hard flick he did around that final hairpin. So once again, if it's not obvious, it's the high speed, hard entries to the corners here, which is what's going to get you the good scores. And luckily enough for us, that's what looks cool as well. Second run there for Matt Field. He's got 2 runs down, both of which were exceedingly good compared to his performance so far this weekend.
Ready, go!
Second run for the Thai, Orapom Prakopkong. So the replay here for M's run. Quite shallow angle there, you can see. Not really wound on as much as what we've seen from other people here today. Slowly finally gets it there. Yeah, see that score there in Sector 2. 23.2 out of 25. With an entry speed of only 79.
Ready, go!
Second run now for the Brazilian entry, João Barrion in his JZX 100 Mark II. And dropping a wheel off the edge of the track, that's going to be a penalty for João. So the replay here for João, taking a very wide line on the entry, trying to keep his speed up. He knows he needs to go faster than he did on his first qualifying run. Now watch the rear of the car here, coming in with lots of good angle, but dropping wheel off. You can see there that red -2. That is the -2 point penalty for going off the edge of the track. Unfortunately for João Barrion there, 94.01. Decent scores on the rest of the track though.
Ready, go!
Second run now for Chinese Taipei's entry, Feng Zhenxi in the S15 Sylvia. Really working the accelerator hard there. Let's watch the replay. Seeming to have a little bit of trouble to get the grip down in this car on this particular surface with his setup. Feng really working the accelerator hard compared to a lot of the other drivers. The score there, 97.94. Obviously doing a good job of it. 86.4 kilometer an hour entry speed. The entry speed, of course, is measured in Sector 1 as they enter the track. Very short run-up for these guys. Not enough time to get a whole lot of speed. But we are seeing quite a few of them get up to 86, 87, some in the 90s, mid-90s. Not really sure it's possible to crack 100 kilometers an hour on the entry, though.
Ready, go!
Here comes the second run now for USA entrant Michael Esser in the BMW. He had an absolute blinder of a first run. Two great runs in a row for Michael Esser, but will it be an improvement over his first qualifying run? I'm not too sure about that. Good entry here, but going into Sector 3, he knows that he can get good points by throwing it in really hard and backing in, but yeah, you can see that only 13.5 out of 15. Going a little bit slow there. Also not as good an entry speed as before, only 96.79 for Michael Esser on his second qualifying run. Yeah, he tried a little bit too hard on Sector 3 to try and get maximum angle, but there's that fine balance between getting angle and slowing down too much. Of course, the more angle you get, the more you begin to slow down. So it's that fine balance that these guys have to be aware of. The thin line they have to ride in order to get a good score in this competition.
Ready, go!
Our second run now for the Lithuanian via USA entrant Orimas Bakshis. All right, second run, let's watch the replay for Odie here. Not bad on the entry. But they're coming into Sector 3, I think. Once again, that's going to be the weak point here for Odie. Watch this, if they show the replay up until that point. Right about here, quite weak in the angle. Yeah, look, not throwing it in at all. We've seen other guys like Esser just before flick it in really hard, but Odie right here, he's still winding on angle, That is not going to get him a good score. Entry speed, 88.3, 96.84. So overall, Odie Bakshis may have enough points to get into the top 16. But of course, we still do have the Russians and the Japanese drivers to go here today.
Ready, go!
Right, here comes Pon, his second run. So the second run now here from Pon. Nice throw in there, a little bit late maybe, but still good angle. Holding it nice and deep towards the end of the course, keeping up his speed. Hard on the accelerator here. You can see him baking the tyres. Slowly starts to back off, setting himself up for the hairpin of Sector 3. Great angle there. Wow, 98.96. Yeah, that was a really good run there. Look at the entry speed, 92.5 kilometers an hour. On the entry, great second run from Pon, currently in first place in qualifying. A second run from our next Thai driver, Chanapam Kurtpiam, otherwise known as S, in the great looking Altezza. Big angle, but throwing it too hard. Spinning out on the first corner. Of course, he still needs to, he can complete his run and still get some points if he wants. But considering the level of competition here today, it's not really worth it. So fortunately there, S, his second run on his Fury run, throwing it a bit too hard in there, spinning out in Sector 2. And Sector 2, the most important part of the track. The long sweeping corner, a chance to get a good score there. Only 0.00, only 74 for his run.
Ladies and gentlemen, FIA Intercontinental Drifting Cup.
Okay, so that is the end of our Group B qualifiers. What did you think of that? Great runs there. That's first run from Michael Esser. Amazing run there. He looks like he really paid attention in from yesterday's qualifying and also the drivers' meeting today. Doing exactly what he needs to do to get a great score. But our current first place from that group, Pon. Great run from him. Obviously, Pon, he has driven using this computerized judging system many times before. He's a regular entrant in the D1 Grand Prix series here in Japan. So great score from him. Slowly getting better and better, and obviously starting to peak a bit here at the IDC. And a great place to do it here, this worldwide competition where the entire world is watching. So that is the end of Group B. Our next group, our C group drivers, we have guys from Japan and Russia, also Hong Kong, and our Malaysian drivers as well. So that's who's coming up in our next group. So yesterday's winners, the Japanese and the Russians, will be coming out in this group. So anyone who's at the bottom of the field right now in points should be sweating bullets, hoping that they're not going to get knocked off and relegated to sit in the grandstands while the top 16 goes on. All right, so we're about to begin our third qualifying group. Let's go back to the main camera and watch the action. Right, we are into our final qualifying group here. Tengku Janli, his first qualifying run. Janley's V8 sound filling the arena here at Odaiba. Of course, with the big NA sound of that V8, very easy to hear how much he was on the accelerator for almost the majority of the track. Look at this. Backs off, hits the brakes, winds on angle. Bit of a wall tap there. And unfortunately for him too, also a -2 point penalty for dropping a wheel off the track. Great first sector there score. First sector 1 score there, 29.87 out of 30. Good entry speed. Bang on entry speed there, 84.7 kilometers an hour. Unfortunately, yeah, a little bit of a tap of the wall there, messing up his entry into sector 3. And a course out there, dropping a wheel off. So basically, if the entire tyre drops off the edge of the track over the line, that will result in a penalty. Just think about it like as if it was tennis and the tyre was a tennis ball. If it's all the way off the edge, it still counts. If it's only halfway over the line, it's still in. All right, so about to bring out our next driver now. It will be Hideyuki Fujino, representing Japan in his 180SX. So these qualifying runs run in a reverse grid from yesterday's results.
3, 2, 1, go!
All right, here comes Fujino, 180SX. Watch the entry speed here, watch the flick. All right, so Fujino, watch the entry here. Great, look at the speed he goes past that camera with. Nice and wide on the accelerator the whole time. This is going to be a good average speed score for Fujino. And right there, see how all of a sudden the car flicks around. That is what the EDS system, the EDS judging system is looking for. It wants to see the guys flick back hard, especially also here as well. Watch the flick back. 98.36, over 91 kilometers an hour on the entry, currently putting him into second place. Great score over the maximum in Sector 1, 30.11. Great score in Sector 2. Also high scores in Sector 3, 4, and 5 as well. So great first run for Fujino. Here comes the next driver, Masashi Yokoi, S14, S15 Sylvia, 2JZ, riding that line there. And over the finish line there, Masashi Yokoi. Let's watch the replay here. Yokoi, his flicks from left to right are one of the best you'll see here. Whoa, was that tyre on the inside? That tyre was just barely on the inside of the track there. You can see throwing up chalk dust almost all the way around. We do have a judge on the opposite side of the track whose job it is to spot that sort of thing. So actually, so no penalties. He didn't go all the way over the track. 97.53. So score there 97.53. Yokoi currently sitting in 6th place in qualifying. Look at the entry speed there, 95.4 kilometers an hour. Amazing entry speed for Yokoi. It's the same yesterday. He did get the highest entry speed in Saturday's competition qualification as well.
Three, two, one, go!
Next driver now representing Hong Kong, Charles Ng. All right, that's just a replay from Charles Ng. He did actually end up coming 3rd in qualifying yesterday. So we're really looking forward to seeing another good qualifying run from him today. And it looks like he's pulling off a pretty good run here. Good speed, I think, is one of the major factors of Charles Ng's driving. And look at this good angle right here. Holding that angle nice and cleanly. 97.31 for Charles Ng. Good entry speed, currently sitting in 9th place so far. So that number you see on the top right of screen there is their current rank. Of course, that doesn't mean that they're going to stay at that rank. As the other drivers come through, they'll slowly get knocked down if other drivers get a better score. But at this stage of the game, we are in our final qualifying group. So whatever rank they get around about now should stay fairly similar.
3, 2, 1, go!
All right, next driver now, Gocha from Russia. And a massive course cut there for Gocha right at the end of the run. Unfortunate for him. Look at this great speed here through the long sweeping sector 2. Good entry to sector 3, but unfortunately between sector 4 and 5, he knows that flicking it really hard into sector 5 and holding big angle all the way over the finish line will get him a good score. But unfortunately throwing it a bit too hard, washing out, losing his line. So watch this. Good angle here. Now watch right about here. Sets the car up, flicks it really hard. Normally this would get you a really good score, but watch this. Loses a lot of speed and ends up having to cut 1, 2, 3 wheels off the track. All 4 wheels off the track it looked like. It's going to be a huge penalty applied to Gocha on his first qualifying run. So a big mistake there, but not so bad that he can't recover from that. The rest of his run looked quite good. Yeah, -5 there. That's very unfortunate for Gocha. That would have been a 98.44 point run. So Gocha currently sitting in 17th place. He has been knocked all the way down off the top 16. So his next run is his last chance to get into the top 16 today. Gocha yesterday, 4th place, I apologize. So next driver now, Arkasha. We have Arkady Tsargradze from Russia. Let's watch the replay here. Tsargradze, great first run from him. Nice, and look at that. The big puff of smoke coming up as Arkady gets on the accelerator very early there, holding a good speed. Look at this, good angle. Good angle there, good speed. And a 99.21. Arkady first place in qualifying This is a great position to be in this late in the game in qualifying. And after his first run, so could this be the revenge of the Russians? They ended up in 3rd and 4th place yesterday. This is putting Arcady into a really good position to make it through to the finals here today. But of course, he still does get one more run. And before he does his run, we're going to have yesterday's 1st and 2nd place winners, Daigo Saito and also Masato Kawabata, who we're going to see right now. Here comes Daigo Saito.
3, 2, 1, go!
So in the Nissan GTR, Daigo Saito, monster HKS engine. Here he comes. So an amazingly fast run there for Daigo Saito. The entry speed here, look at this. And the type of car this is, it's written on the door, it is an absolute monster. Also featuring an anti-lag system this weekend to keep the boost up in this tight course. But despite that, look at that, 98.68. Just falling a bit behind in the later parts of the course. Great entry speed, 96.5 kilometers an hour, maxing out Sector 1. But Sector 3, 4, and 5 just falling back a little bit. Yeah, Sector 2, it did look like he backed off quite a lot along the wall before Sector 3. Maybe he went in there a bit too fast and had to correct. And yesterday's first place winner, Masato Kawabata, also in the GTR. He's his first qualifying run. And it looks like that's going to be a penalty there for Masato Kawabata, dropping a wheel off on the outside of Sector 3. So it's not looking too bad so far, but it's only his first run. He still has a chance to better this score, but watch this. Comes in here looking good. A bit more angle would have been nicer, but flicks it in hard on the brakes. Not enough though. He could have got to use a bit more angle there to slow the car down, and the wheel off the edge of the track there. Ooh, will that be a penalty? I'm not too sure. The entire wheel needs to be over the edge of the track. That actually might not be a penalty. Of course, we do have a human judge whose job it is to determine whether a car went off the track or not and apply penalties. And that is then subtracted from the EDS, Electronic Systems score. And it is a penalty. Otherwise, that would have been a 99.7, but that -2 penalty, dropping a wheel off. But still, overall, very good scores for Kawabata. If he didn't get that penalty, it would have been a very good score. So, looking good going into his second qualifying run.
Ready, go!
A second run now for Tengu Janlei. Unfortunately there, a spin in Sector 5 for Tengu Janlei. Of course, at this level of competition, any kind of spin or half spin is going to be a fatal error. But remember, it's only the one single best score that's going to contribute to their ranking position in the best 16. So you can have a 0 on one run and a 100 on the second one, and you're still going to get through. It's not added up and averaged, it's the best one run which counts. So Janlei's qualifying result will definitely come from his first score. 83.78 there, 17th position. So Jan falling off the ladder. Of course, it's only the top 16 which make it through to the battles this afternoon. Right at the end there, Sector 5, 0.00.
Ready, go!
Second run now for Hideyuki Fujino in the 180SX. So once again, typically clean and conservative Fujino run. It looks like he doesn't want to go too crazy. It's actually pretty typical of his driving style, not going too hard when he doesn't need to. And there you have it, a nice clean score there, 98.13, currently sitting in 4th place. Maxing out Sector 1-2, a 30.02. Good entry speed. So overall, just a typically Fujino style run. Better than average everywhere without it being too insane.
Ready, go!
Second run now, Masashi Yokoi. Watch the entry speed here. He's Mr. Entry. And keeping it absolutely pinned for the entirety of Sector 5. Look at this run here from Yokoi. Once again, high speed entry, winding on the acceleration there. Very smooth driving. Look at this angle he's holding right here. Just perfectly holding that angle. It looks like an animated photo just there. 99.34. First place, Yokoi coming in with a 90.1 kilometer an hour entry. 99.34 Yokoi with only 2 drivers to go, currently in first place in qualifying.
Ready, go!
Here comes the second run from the Hong Kong representative, Charles Ng. Sorry, I just lost my scoring sheet. So let's watch this second run. Second run here from Charles Ng. Something very interesting about this car. It was actually built in Thailand, and it has completely hand-formed wheel tubs in the engine bay. And when I say hand-formed, I mean it's actually beaten with a hammer and formed in the shape. It's an amazing piece of craftsmanship in this car. And speaking of craftsmanship, it's a great run here from Charles Ng. Charles been entering drift competitions for quite a while now, all over the world, gathering skill. He competes here in Japan quite a lot as well. About 2 weekends ago, he was actually in another competition here, a smaller local competition. Actually, I believe it was last weekend, actually, up at Ebisu Circuit. The EDS Ebisu Drift Series, he entered there as well. Also tested his car. And it's called the 98.12 for Charles Ng, 8th place. So right in the middle of the field there for Charles Ng.
Ready, go!
Right, next driver now, Georgy Chivshan from Russia. Gotcha! There we go, that's what we wanted to see. This was his last shot run. If he doesn't get a top 16 score in this run, he's not going to make it into the top 16. But it's looking pretty good. Gotcha. Doing what he needs to do here. Good angle. Look at the angle. You can almost see the entire front windscreen. Great angle there. Very smooth. Racking up the points in Sector 2. Slamming on the brakes there. Bringing the back of the car around. Winding on lots of angle for Sector 3. Georgie doing what he needs to do at a 98.80. Fourth place. Gotcha. Whew, he just made it in. A bit late, but good to have him here. Fourth place with only with 2 drivers to go. 3 drivers to go. One of which is his fellow Russian. There he is right there, Tsaragradzev.
Ready, go!
A second run now here for Tsaragradzev in the R34 Skyline. And once again, Tsaragradzev throwing it a bit too hard into that final corner. That's a big shame for Tsaragradzev, who's doing so well up until that point. Wow, big angle here. Look at that. The car disappearing in a cloud of smoke. Tsaragradzev very early on the accelerator. Very confident entry. Just like we saw there before with Gotcha. Good angle there. That's Sector 5. 0.00. So 84.68. That's okay though. Arcady still sitting in second place. He had a chance to improve on it, but didn't get it. Of course, with the position he was already in, it makes sense tactically to go for an all-out approach.
Ready, go!
Now, second last driver here in qualifying, Daigo Saito, his second qualifying run. Here comes the entry for the GTR. Oh, and Daigo Saito right on the ragged edge of control right there. Watch him throw it in here. Wow, that is an aggressive run there out towards the wall with big angle. Slight correction there as he gets on the accelerator, hard on the accelerator. Brings the back of the car around. Good angle. Watch this consistent angle. On accelerator and then off right there. Brings the back of the car around. Wow, look at that flick there. Into a big angle. You can see the back of the front wheel. And a 98.83 for Daigo Saito. 4th place. So once again, that Sector 3 and 4, I get the feeling it was his speed in Sector 3 and 4. Remember, this is a GTR. It's a big, heavy car. Not always easy to drive in the slower parts of the track. That's where we see the other guys, for example, like Gotcha, like Yokoi, in the smaller, slightly lighter cars, more maneuverable cars that tend to get a better score in the second half of the track.
Ready, go!
Okay, final run here for Masato Kawabata in the GTR. So not a bad run there for Masato Kawabata. Maybe not as aggressive as some of the other driving we've seen so far. I don't know what it is, just something a little bit lacking on that run. And as far as the excitement point of view goes, it was a good run. But they can see here just a little bit wobbly. The car's kind of moving around there. Yeah, once again, 98.89, only 88.8 kilometers an hour entry speed there. But it is indeed the battles in which we see the best runs from guys like Kawabata and from Daigo Saito. But regardless of that, Kawabata at 4th place. So that brings to an end the qualifying here for leg 2 of the FIA Intercontinental Drifting Cup here in Tokyo, Japan. So we're just about to get the results to see who has made it through to the top 16 and who got knocked out. So unfortunately, I don't currently have the judging screen in front of me. It's currently being used by the Japanese live stream commentator who's sitting right next to me. So as soon as I get the results, I will let you know. But of course, it is Masashi Yokoi, we can see there, who has 1st place in qualifying after that amazing run.
さあ、暫定ということで横井選手おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
はい、いかがですか今のお気持ちは。
いやー、気分がいいね。やっぱりこういうのはね、最高ですね。
はい、
はい、
昨日と比べていかがですか。
ちょっと昨日からもね練習は結構点数出てたんで、はい、結構いける気はしてたんですけど本番で不発だったんで、今日、まあ、特にちょっと2本目はちょっと走り方変えて、点数出たらいいなと思って走ったらね結構良かったんで、はい、まあ、結果良かったかなという感じです。この後の追走いかがですか。やっぱり僕追走が大好きな方の人間なんで昨日ちょっとね、いいところ見せれなかったんで、今日はもうこれはね終わりだから単走はこれから追走を、気合い入れてしかも、一番先頭スタートで、はい、一番先頭のスタートっていうのは勝率が高いんですよ。なので、この流れで、追走もガンガンいって、日本一を取りたいと思います。違うか、世界一か、世界一を取りたいと思います。世界一を、はい、はい、では期待しております。はい、頑張ります。はい、ソロラン暫定1位の、横井選手にお越しいただきました。ありがとうございました。 Alright, so I'm just going to grab the
screen we have here right now and get the results, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible.
FIA インターコンチネンタルドリフティングカップレグ2ソロラン暫定順位です。まず1位は横井正史選手ですね。
First place, Yokoi Masashi.
得点は 99.34。 さあ第2位はアルカーシャ 99.21。
Okay, so then we have the
Second
results
place, Alkarsha.
from qualifying for the Intercontinental Drifting Cup. So in first place, Masashi Yokoi. Second place from Russia, Arkady Tsargradzev. Third place, Dachapon Toing Charoen. Fourth, Masto Kawabara. Fifth place, Georgi Chivichan or Gocha. Sixth place, Daigo Saito. Seventh, Hideyuki Fujino. Eighth place, and our highest ranked US driver, Michael Esser. Followed very closely behind by our other US driver, Matt Field. And in 10th place, we have Charles